Hello and welcome to All Shorts. Well, I want to talk about Trump. I know I've been talking a lot about Trump recently, but it is, well, very important. You know, if the United States sneezes, well, we catch a cold in the United Kingdom and in the EU, you know, and we're at the risk of a potential trade war. Anyway, happy to pick the old like button. If you've got Sport Channel, do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee, the link's down below. Now, there's been a few announced. Oh my God! Anyways, Donald Trump has been announcing his new government, and talk about tinfoil hats. Oh my giddy aunt! What a bunch of loonies! Now, it's understandable, okay, because the people who voted for somebody like Donald Trump, the voters, over 50% of those who voted, so it's about 75 million people, they clearly are tinfoil hat wearers themselves and agree with, stuff like what Robert Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, RFK, he's been saying regarding things like polio and vaccines and fluoride in your water. Flipping out, there's certainly something in his water that has clearly fried his brain. I just find it unreal. Every day passes and there's just something even crazier in the previous day. Now, I didn't really follow US politics until the risk of Trump sort of reared his ugly head again. And it was deeply, deeply concerning. And flabbergasting as well. How do we get there? Now, let's be fair. In the United Kingdom, we did have the Brexit. And we know how well that has gone, don't we? Now, I'm having comments, I am, on some of my videos. This is if Nigel's the Prime Minister in the UK, well then, quite frankly, we would have had a better deal. Or we had been in a much better position. Or, crikey, we had a no deal. How the hell is a no deal going to be any good for the United Kingdom? It's already struggling on imports, exports with the deal that we've got. And Nigel Farage is going to get rid of red tape. He's got no control of the red tape. Oh, don't worry about the European Union, no. Oh, okay, we'll strike a deal with the United States. That ain't going to help the farmers, is it? Now, they've been there before, you see. There was various negotiations regarding trying to strike a deal with the United States. They gave up in the end. We gave up, basically, for obvious reasons. You see, the one thing they wouldn't let up on was agricultural. They wanted the United Kingdom to say, OK, you can send us all your dodgy meat, all your dodgy chicken, lamb, and God knows what else they'd want to send us. Oh, obviously a bit of E. coli maybe, And the United Kingdom basically said, no. The thing is, you see, we've already got trade deals with Australia and places like that. And this is actually scuppering us regarding being able to trade with the EU on meat products with phytosanitary. And don't tell me that, we'll strike a deal for phytosanitary. What, we're going to get the EU to change the rules? If there was any chance of a phytosanitary deal to allow meatstuffs into the EU without red tape, with all the negotiations that have already gone on, that'd be one of the things that we would have had. There is no striking new deals. EU isn't interested in that. There might be some tweaks, maybe. It's for the birds. It's just like the idea that we're going to rejoin any time soon. So you see, we've got our own issues in the United Kingdom. We've got issues here. I'm in France, and there's certainly plenty of issues here. We've got our fair share of crazy individuals. One of our friends, is a bit of a flippin' hell. She's gone down the old rabbit warren as well. She's a lovely person, but she, regarding the 5G aerials, the one over there went up, and she's right old tinfoil hat. And none of it makes sense what comes out. She sends me links over, she does. I don't watch most of them because they're just all crazy stuff, none of it makes any logical sense. And as somebody who's a practical man, it needs to make sense. Just conspiracies and from people who aren't scientists, who aren't doctors, physicians or pharmaceuticals or anyway, who aren't connected to the CDC. Well, I'm not going to listen to it, am I? I want logic. I want to see stuff that I can think, okay, that's reasonable. Not conspiracy theories, like crazy shit. And there's so much of it. Like what's going on in the United States. Now, that same friend of ours is a Trump supporter. She's even a Putin supporter. What drives people down those slippery slides into the abyss? It certainly happened in the United States. And how they're celebrating, not all the Republicans, some of them are very unhappy with people like Matt Gaetz, for instance, who's just been appointed Attorney General. Flipping hell. That man, right, he just resigned from, I think it was in the House of Representatives, but he just resigned from the House of Representatives, and now the cases against him have been dropped regarding his sex offending. And what is it with these people? They're all sex offenders. Donald Trump, he's a flippin' convicted felon and rapist. Come on. Why is that acceptable? If he wasn't guilty, the evidence wouldn't have been there to convict him. These people don't believe in their judicial system. It's like everything is a setup. Flipping hell. It's just unreal, It really is unreal. Now, I have been saying recently, quite a bit, that people who vote for these kind of people, who don't actually understand what they're voting for, like, for instance, tariffs, one of the biggest search terms post-election for Donald Trump, people didn't know what they're voting for. They didn't know what tariffs are. No. They believed Donald Trump when he was saying stuff like, you won't have to pay the tariffs. The other countries will pay the tariffs. What a load of bollocks. It's never been that way, and it never will be. It'll be the importers who have to pay the tariffs, or the exporters, they're the ones paying the tariffs, and it just gets passed on to the customers. So you're talking about implying all these flippin' tariffs on the United Kingdom, 10 to 20% tariffs, and then on the EU, a whole load of tariffs, and it's not going to, do anything other than really, prevent supply. You're going to find that you're going to have less choice in the United States. To the point of even having less food. And luckily for you, you've got plenty of land, so you've got plenty of farms. And you do also export a lot. But it doesn't help industry, business, to be able to flourish. Because what this will do is trigger a trade war with all these other countries. If you apply a trade deal, a tariff against another country, what does that other country do? Well, they apply a tariff to you. That's what happens every time. We see it in China. The tariffs they applied against whiskey and brandy or something in France, and what were the tariffs against whiskey and for Scotland and that in the US. It's just we return the favour. So United Kingdom will be forced to apply tariffs against the United States, and all that's going to do is make everything more expensive for everyone else and trigger more inflation. It's just madness. The whole thing is mad. Talking about madness, RFK, you know, Bobby Kennedy. That man, he wants to remove the fluoride because he reckons it gives you autism or something stupid. The fluoride, for God's sake, such a tiny amount in your water. And then he wants to stop funding for the schools, what have you, schools, if they impose any mandatory vaccinations. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's just, how are the two connected, really? So no vaccinations. These are all, COVID deniers. They all are. It's easy to be a COVID denier after the fact, isn't it? You know? But if you're watching people die in front of your face, well then, quite frankly, you might be a little bit desperate for that vaccine. And that vaccine saved a huge amount of lives. And if I go by what people are saying to me, right, whether it be in the comments, what have you, or to my face, oh, you'll be dead next week. I'll be dead now. I've been dead a year ago because I've had the vaccines. Absolute bollocks. It reminds me of Michael Gove. Don't believe the experts. That's what he said, didn't he? You know, don't believe or you shouldn't listen to the experts or something like that. And people took that as an excuse to not believe the experts. People who have trained for a very long time. Look, there's cows. Oh, actually met for the first time being here the people who own that house over there now. That's their second home. You see, yeah, they have second homes there as well. You know, yeah. A lot was down to inheritance laws though. They're very, very strict here in France. So, yes, it will trigger some kind of trade war, and there'll be no checks and balances. So. A lot of these other countries won't want to deal with the United States anyway. And then we've got another numpty. So there's plenty of numpties, don't get me wrong, going into the government in the US. But what about Tom Homan? Well, he ain't got to have a confirmation, he hasn't, because he's just a czar. But he's going to be the border czar, you know? And his views on migrants are extreme. Give me his way, then we'll shoot them. Just shoot them. Now, it has been said, I have mentioned this before in a previous video, by Steve Bannon and Natalie Winters on their podcast. And Steve Bannon and Natalie Winters basically said, because they're connected to Donald Trump, you know, they're like that, they are, you know. And that there's going to be like a task force. Well, actually, they call it a shock force or something, or like a little army. But you see, they haven't got the people in the United States, they haven't got people in the forces or the police, what have you, to be able to facilitate this army. The suggestion is now that they're going to have this little MAGA hat army, you know? People who are, well, favourable to Donald Trump. And they're going to go sweeping across the country, gathering people up. And any state that harbours any of these so-called illegals or migrants that they've chosen that they've decided they don't want to be in the United States. Yes, they are talking about legals as well. They're going to scoop them up, yeah, out of these states with the military. It's just that's what he's saying. Whether they'll actually, there's a lot of this stuff, you know. They always say a hell of a lot of stuff to get themselves in power because of the type of people that they are trying to appeal to. But when it comes to facilitating it, they find it's not as easy as they first thought. You know, it's in some cases it's almost impossible because there are laws. And the only way Donald Trump is going to be able to get after the stuff free that he wants to do is to change the laws. And that could potentially happen. He said as much. This is a dictator. I know I'm laughing. This is really serious. What's happened to the United States? What has happened to people? It's depressing. Like I say, it's not just the United States. These stupid people, and yes, they are. They're either stupid or they're just trying to feather their own nests. Or those who try to feather their own nests are using the stupid people to, well, be the magic flying carpet to get them into power. Now, same in the UK. Got our fair share of idiots. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them idiots. I'm fed up with it. You know. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck, isn't it? You know. It just is. If you do stupid stuff, that's stupid. If you vote for things that are clearly against your best interests, that is stupid. If you don't understand what a tariff is, well, that's ignorant. Is it down to education? Is it down to a lack of opportunities for people? Don't they teach anything in schools? You know, it's just... Are the parents part of the problem? Probably. Something's seriously going on. All around the world, really. Look at Argentina. Oh, crikey, what's that guy's name? The President Prime Minister of Argentina is pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord. Another crazy climate denier. Flipping out, and people see what's going on. Even here while I'm in France, everything's skew-if. There's something going on here, it really is. Say for France, getting a huge amount of rain, floods. Spain, for instance, huge amount of problems there, weren't there? Valencia and that. You know, it's just the weather. Just the weather. Yeah. And what was Donald Trump's answer? Oh, there'll be all these sea-fronted properties. Oh, we all like more sea-fronted properties or something like that, he was saying. It's just madness. It's just absolute madness. And these people are actually buying into all this crap. Is it a case of, it could be me, you know? I don't want you to remove my opportunities because one day that could be me. I could be a multi-billionaire. No, because you're stupid. That ain't going to happen. No. You're either stupid, you're ignorant, or you're a flippin' idiot. Now, if you don't like it, tough. I'm going to say it more and more these days. If I think someone's just acting against their own best interests, because stupid is as stupid does, well then, quite frankly, I'm going to call you stupid. I'm fed up with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there's a place for political correctness and stuff, but I think it's gone completely, utterly bonkers now. And those on the right say, don't they, that we want to maintain our right to offend. Yeah, unless it's them being offended. So yes, they are stupid. And hypocrites. Now this has potentially caused a huge amount of issues for like the war in Ukraine, what have you. We just had the German Chancellor calling up Putin. Oh, do you fancy coming over for a pot of tea? Well, actually not exactly that, but anyway. Needless to say, Zelensky in Ukraine isn't very happy about that. He must be so concerned at the moment. Now we've got Donald Trump as the President of the United States who's going to apply pressure to every other country, including the United Kingdom. It's madness. And then you could argue, Taiwan, for instance, you know, what's going to happen there? Is Donald Trump going to keep with Biden's promise that they would step in if China invaded Taiwan? I have my doubts. That would be another act of self-harm if they didn't. Quite frankly, you know, we're so dependent on those chips for TMRC or whatever it's called in Taiwan, all those semiconductors. You know, they're the biggest supplier around the world, they are, of semiconductors. Now, China's been trying to compete with them and they've been failing. Which surprised me, actually. I thought they'd been very capable. But, you know, they're not the same quality, I suppose. So what do we have in the United States now? We've got Donald Trump, who's a convicted felon. We have Elon Musk, who's basically election interference, whose platform is, wow, everyone, amongst many others, have boycotted X. The Guardian has boycotted X. I think they've gone to Mastodon, or something like that. No, or was it Threads? I think it's Threads. But Blue Sky has been gaining around 1 to 3 million new subscribers every week. There'll be nothing left of X at this rate. Formerly Twitter. Now that would be funny. That would be funny. You know, see, the thing about these platforms, they're only as good as the audience you've got. And if it becomes its own little bubble, no one's going to want to advertise on there at all. You know, because what's the point? Okay, you might get some right-wing nut jobs and platforms like Rumble and stuff like that advertising on there, maybe. But otherwise, it won't be it won't survive, which would be a good thing. You know. There again, Elon Musk has got enough money to keep it running just as a plaything. You know, that's probably what he'd end up doing. Because if it wasn't for X and Elon Musk's craziness, flip a madman he is, well, Donald Trump wouldn't be the next president of the United States, the 47th. I can't. I still find it hard. I really do. Oh dear. Anyway, my throat's going now. If you want to support the channel, just click the little like button and maybe subscribe, press the little bell icon, because then you get one fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. And if you want to support the channel, you can do it on Patreon, the bars of coffee, and the links are down below. But also we're doing Rewilding here in France, for which somebody, cheeky bugger, was saying that it was some kind of scam, and they see what we've been doing. Blimey. Anyway, the idea is that we have this little project we've got going to Rewilding. We're planting loads of trees, at least 1,000 trees. I do believe it's going to be more than that in the end. And basically you can contribute towards a tree or trees, and we'll plant a tree on your behalf, and also make some a sign to go with your tree or trees or whatever. And then basically it could be a memory of a loved one, what have you, or like my little Wally dog who just passed away, you know. You know, I think it's quite a nice idea. And it's not just about the trees themselves, or about the environment or anything like that. It's about providing safe habitat for the animals. Because I've said this before, some people already know, regulars to the channel already, they already know that, you know, these, what might seem like there's loads of trees there, if you go into a lot of the woodlands, there's blinking great holes that have been cut out. So you can't see it from the outside. And it's complete devastation for all the little, you know, for the habitats, you know, for the little critters. So we make a lot of like bird houses and bat roosts and stuff like that, and hedgehog houses and woodwork, you see, so I can do all that. And it's a nice thing to do. I'm really pleased with it. And Caroline's really chuffed as well. She's working out there all last week, digging holes, putting trees in. While I'm making videos. But we haven't really been in a very good headspace, to be fair, because obviously my little dog, because he was very much a part of me. He really was. Anyway, before I keep nearly welling up. It's very, very sad. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses, it's because of that sun, okay? Because it's in my eyes when I'm walking against it, and I was getting really sore eyes last time I did this. So, anyway, boot the old like button and comment down below, because I do read the comments, but you probably already know. I can't reply to every single one, but I do my best to reply to a percentage of them. That I do. Toodaloo. Have a lovely day. Oh, it's the weekend. Oh.